earlier when only male used to earn, आज औरतें भी काम कर रही हैं.
Can call it as a challenge.
लड़कियों के लिए, like working women के लिए, ये जनरेशन काफ़ी unfair है.
Expectations for this is same as old.
There are many relations in India which are spoiled because of you staying in a family together.
They should treat a daughter-in-law like a daughter.
Society is still gender biased.
See, society will always be unhappy with your happiness. So you have to ignore the society.
वेलकम टू एम्पीरिया कनेक्ट्स. ये पॉडकास्ट है जहां हम फैमिली वेलबींग के इम्पॉर्टेंट टॉपिक्स पे बात करते हैं. आज का डिस्कशन है एक ऐसे टॉपिक पे जो हम सब की ज़िंदगी को डायरेक्टली या इनडायरेक्टली इम्पैक्ट करता है. रिलेशनशिप्स और शादियों के बदलते रिश्ते और चैलेंजेस. हम समझने की कोशिश करेंगे कि आजकल शादियाँ कैसे बदल रही है और उनसे जुड़ी एक्सपेक्टेशंस और प्रॉब्लम्स कैसे हैंडल की जा सकती हैं. हमारे साथ है एडवोकेट धर्मेंद्र दमानी, एक्सपीरियंस लॉयर इन मैट्रिमोनियल फील्ड. उनसे बात करेंगे मैरिज एंड रिलेशनशिप चैलेंजेस के बारे में. हाय धर्मेंद्र, थैंक यू सो मच फॉर कमिंग ऑन आवर पॉडकास्ट. लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड टू टुडेज कॉन्वर्सेशन.
Thank you Divya for having me here. And yeah, of course, looking forward to have a interaction with you.
आपके हिसाब से शादियों के मॉडर्न डायनामिक्स कैसे चेंज हुए हैं?
शादी तो शादी है. मॉडर्न डायनामिक्स मतलब शादी तो जिस ट्रेडिशन से पहले हो रही थी आज भी वही तरीके से हो रही है. बट या आई वुड से द एज ग्रुप हैज़ चेंज्ड. जो एज में पहले शादी होती थी अब थोड़ी एज बढ़ गई है मैरिज होने की. एजुकेशन लेवल ऑफ बोथ द पार्टनर्स हैव इंक्रीज्ड.
करेक्ट.
As compared to the traditional old marriages, what used to happen. Now the couples are more matured, more understanding, and they have more access to the knowledge, which also has its own pros and cons.
Yeah.
So things have changed definitely.
So आजकल शादी के बेसिक चैलेंजेस क्या रहे कपल में?
Basic challenge तो communication है, I would say. Because जो एक communication होना चाहिए वो कम हो गया है between the couples. If you talk more with your partner, your relationship would be much better.
Correct.
So you need to interact more with your partner.
जैसे हम बात कर रहे हैं कि टुडे earlier when only male used to earn, आज औरतें भी काम कर रही हैं. So both husband and wife are working. So do you think there are more challenges because even the women are working nowadays?
Yes, definitely we can call it as a challenge, but rather it has its own complications, I would say. Because a man may accept a woman to work, but at the same time a man also has to accept that when a woman is working outside and coming home, she cannot be like his mom who used to devote full time for the home. तो वो एक अंडरस्टैंडिंग मैच्योरिटी भी ज़रूरी है. विद द टाइम व्हेन बोथ हस्बैंड एंड वाइफ आर वर्किंग दे नीड टू गिव स्पेस एंड टाइम टू ईच अदर फॉर देयर ओन वेलबींग, फॉर देयर ओन अंडरस्टैंडिंग टू ईच अदर.
लड़कियों के लिए, लाइक वर्किंग वुमेन के लिए, ये जनरेशन काफ़ी अनफेयर है.
I would not say unfair, but kind of expectations for this is same as old. Like for example, if I give you an example of a couple, both are working from 9 to 6. So after 6 p.m. when both of them come to home, a husband might relax, but a wife is expected to take care of the household work. Maybe cooking, taking care of the home, etc. But the same couple, if they both are in a foreign country maybe, then over there the husband will also equally contribute towards the household work. वहाँ पे एक husband is expected to wash utensils, wash clothes, but यहाँ पे एक वो comfort level नहीं है, और maybe due to societal pressure, maybe if the husband wants to, but the societal pressure might not help him contribute in the household work equally with his wife. So husband is not the only reason, I would say, but society is also one of the reason which keeps husband away from equally contributing to the household work.
So, do you feel with the husband, you also have your in-laws who stay with you? Because in India, still we have the mindset of staying in a joint family. So, is there a generational gap where you have a daughter-in-law coming at your home and you are expecting her to be in a certain way?
See, that cannot be a generalized statement. People have changed, the mindset has also changed. But still, to an extent, a boy expects a wife to be like his mom, which is not always possible because his mom may or may not be working during her time. But at this stage, if the wife is working full time, and if he expects his wife to be as devotional as his mom in the house, then it is practically impossible.
Yeah, it's not expected because for her also, you expect a guy like probably coming from work and doing nothing, and a girl, a working woman in India probably when they come back, they have to look after the home.
Correct.
Like in abroad, you see still when they divide their roles. Probably even males, they also indulge in the household chores.
Correct.
Yeah.
So yes, that happens. But again, as I said, कि society जो होती है, society keeps on taunting. They make comment that अरे husband काम कर रहा है, इसकी wife काम नहीं करती है. उस तरह के statement जो outside pressure build करते हैं. So that is one of the reason which pulls back, and that contributes to certain expectations not being met.
So even you have in-laws जो आज के जनरेशन के नॉर्म्स को नहीं समझ पाते तो काफ़ी प्रॉब्लम्स होती हैं. That also affects the marriage of two people. Don't you feel somewhere there are many relations in India which are spoiled because of you staying in a family together? Because now it's a drastic generational gap that you have.
In fact, staying in a joint family can help nurture your relationship to an extra level. The thing is, the in-laws should be more understanding. They should change their orthodox thinking and adopt modern thinking. They should treat a daughter-in-law like a daughter.
Correct.
If they do this, then the life would be a heaven, I can say. Because the kind of support that you get from your in-laws, if they are like your mom and dad, then you would be like having a very good time at home. It's like that. A daughter-in-law would not feel that she is not at home.
Correct.
In fact, most of the responsibilities she can carefree go outside and work.
Correct.
Because the home is being taken care by the parents.
Yeah.
So it's not a generalized statement that in-laws can cause the trouble, but there need to be a certain level of understanding, and in fact with more of communication and conversation with your in-laws, a daughter-in-law can easily become a daughter.
Cultural traditions or modern relationships are there. Is this a reason for a lot of divorce cases nowadays?
No, modern relationship, yes, to an extent. See, if you check the working hours, तो आज की तारीख में वाइफ घर पे कम रहती है और घर के बाहर ज़्यादा रहते हैं. Not only wife, I would say, even the couples, like they are working in a company where they are expected to work for minimum 9 to 12 hours is the normal working schedule for people in the cities, metro cities. So if you are 12 hours with some other group of people, you come home, you stay only for few hours at home, and then you go to sleep again. Morning you rush up for work, so there is hardly any time which you get with your spouse. So this is the modern way, like a husband or a wife is giving less time to the spouse and more time to the outside world, to the company.
Correct.
So this is creating a gap between the couple. So need to find more space and time for each other. That is important.
So मैंने एक कोट कहीं पे पढ़ा था कि the whole generation has taught women to be empowered, but they forgot to teach the guy how to stay with an empowered woman.
See, what a guy sees and what is his upbringing, he will try to reflect that.
Correct.
But a guy cannot always be blamed for that purpose. It has to come from within the family. The family needs to support a guy and the girl as well. They both have to act in collaboration with each other towards a woman who is coming from outside. She is leaving her family, joining a new family, and she has to be treated at par, and that is how the things can be good at the place.
So there are chances जहाँ पे a woman is probably earning more than the husband. So even does that create a problem? Because now this will be modern day challenges. Don't you feel like a guy shouldn't feel bad about that?
आई थिंक ये तो बहुत पहले एक अमिताभ की मूवी में आ गया था, अभिमान में. बट आज की तारीख में इवन द गाइज आर क्वाइट एजुकेटेड एंड प्रैक्टिकल. दे वुड ऑल्सो लाइक नॉट फील कि अ गर्ल इज अर्निंग मोर, सो इनसिक्योरिटी बोलो या फिर थोड़ा सा कॉन्शियसनेस लगो, बट दैट विल नॉट बी अ फैक्टर प्रोवाइडेड देर इज अ क्लियर अंडरस्टैंडिंग. सी व्हेन both are working, it is deemed that both are sharing the expenses also. And nowadays the expectations are also high in terms of vacations, in terms of spending
Lifestyle.
on luxuries. Yes, lifestyle we can say. The schooling, the education has changed drastically. The expense of education has changed. Medical definitely comes at a later stage, but for the family, in fact for future planning also, family planning also, the couple at the time, since the time of marriage, they start saving, they start thinking on the basis of their income, they select the school for the child. So all this comes, if both are earning good, if both are contributing towards the family expenditure, I think that should not be a concern.
But still somewhere down the line you feel the society is still gender biased.
See, society will always be unhappy with your happiness. So you have to ignore the society. You have to think about your happiness.
Yeah.
Do what makes you happy.
Even for men, they have a lot of struggles. So what are they as per you?
So
अभी current generation के हिसाब से.
current generation के हिसाब से, see, if a man, if he is staying in a joint family, तो एक कंसर्न है मैन के लिए कि ही हैज़ टू बैलेंस बिटवीन हिज मॉम, हिज वाइफ एंड हिज फैमिली. एक अच्छा सा रिसेंट एग्जांपल याद आया मेरे को. देयर वाज वन मूवी ऑफ रणबीर कपूर, इफ आई एम नॉट रॉन्ग, इन विच ही सेज टू हिज वाइफ, वुड बी वाइफ, कि तू अगर मुझे तारा लाने बोलेगी तो मैं एक नहीं 4 तारे लेके आऊँगा. एक तेरे लिए, एक मेरी मम्मी के लिए, एक डैडी के लिए और एक मेरी बहन के लिए. तो मेरे लिए तो सब ज़रूरी है. सेम वे फॉर अ मैन, ही वांट्स हिज एंटायर फैमिली. फॉर हिम वाइफ इज ऑल्सो इक्वली इम्पॉर्टेंट, अ मदर इज ऑल्सो इक्वली इम्पॉर्टेंट, बट इट्स अ बैलेंसिंग आर्ट दैट ही हैज़ टू प्ले इन द फैमिली.
सो यू फील इससे लाइक मर्दों के इमोशंस शादियों में ज़्यादा कंसिडर नहीं किए जाते हैं?
अब मर्दों को तो मतलब इमोशंस दिखाने का
मौका ही नहीं
मिलता है. एंड ही इज ऑलवेज ट्राइंग टू कंसोल द वाइफ और द मदर और द फैमिली. सो ही इज ऑलवेज रनिंग बिहाइंड दैट एंड हिज इमोशंस. बट आई थिंक एक वाइफ जो अंडरस्टैंडिंग होती है, एक मॉम जो होती है, वो मर्दों के इमोशंस को दिखाने से पहले ही समझ जाती है. तो दिखाने की ज़रूरत नहीं पड़ती है. बाय नेचर, बाय बर्थ, a female is more emotional and they understands the emotions of other persons as well.
Yeah.
So that's the inbuilt quality of a woman which helps men to suppress his emotion, and without even showing his emotions, a woman in the family can take care of his emotions, be it a daughter also.
So even financial expectation का भी burden रहता है for a guy.
रहता है, no doubt, because traditionally a man is expected to work and take care of the family expenses. A woman is expected to take care of the household work. But with changing dynamics, the modern day marriage dynamics, as you say, so both men and women are working. They both are working at par. At times even a woman can earn more than a guy. So with that thing, people are smart enough to share the expenses. Both are, there are occasions when they both create a joint account. जहाँ से जितने भी हाउस होल्ड एक्सपेंस है, एजुकेशन एक्सपेंस है, ऑल इज टेकन आउट फ्रॉम दैट जॉइंट अकाउंट, एंड देन वॉट एवर मनी इज लेफ्ट दे इन्वेस्ट they save it for the future. So if there is a clear understanding, communication, I would say, have a clear understanding, transparent communication, don't keep a bridge or gap,
Yeah.
कोई filter मत लगाओ, clear communication रखो, and things would be smooth.
Because from day one, from wedding, nowadays, wedding also people spend so much. So I think from day one, you should probably discuss your finances and take mutual decisions from day one
At
in
least-
your spends and your financial expectations towards your family, your partner,
See, at least
everything.
this generation is lucky that there is a good amount of courtship period which we see generally.
Yeah.
In earlier days, there have been seen when the husband and wife, they come to know about each other only at the marriage stage. So till then they were like not even aware. The parents used to fix the marriage. But nowadays the couples, they are themselves involved. They have a courtship period where they discuss things. So yeah, that is one thing. But prenuptial agreement, what we call, is not something which is still valid in our society and not acceptable in our society, but it happens in foreign countries, and that also keeps a transparency to a certain extent, I would say.
So now in this modern world, what do you feel the major reason of couples getting divorced?
See, there are few reasons for divorce. Incompatibility is one of the general reason, I can say. Infidelity is also another reason. Lack of communication, which I am stressing upon. And there can be one of the personal growth as one of the reason, because people are too much into personal growth. So they don't consider the partner's expectation. These four are one of the major reasons, I would say, for modern day divorce.
अपार्ट दिस रीजंस, क्या आपने कभी ऐसा कोई देखा है, कोई यूनिक केस जहाँ पे लोगों ने डिवोर्स किया है फॉर अ अनवांटेड रीजन?
मैंने अनवांटेड रीजंस तो पता नहीं, बट ऐसे डिवोर्स भी देखे हैं जहाँ पे both husband and wife, they are happily coming for divorce, and even after divorce they both are going happily. They are saying they wanted to live together, they lived together, and now they are getting separated.
Yeah.
So people end up with a positive note also. I have seen couples who still remain friends even after divorce. So incompatibility होती है, they realize their mistake, and थोड़ी immaturity में भी शादी हो जाती है, एक दूसरे की expectation समझे बिना, and they, after having a mature understanding, they get separated, and they still continue to be as a friend.
So divorce के पहले there is a chance you can also apply for restitution. So can you explain us more about this?
So with restitution, I would like to use the triple R formula. Repair, reconsider, and this will lead to reconciliation. So what we mean by triple R is repair your relationship, repair your differences, reconsider your decision, and this will help in reconciliation of the disputes in the marriage. So if a couple wants to stay together, or one of the couple wants to stay together, then he can try to work upon this triple R formula. I'll once again repeat. Repair, reconsider in order to reconcile.
Okay. बट इससे क्या अगर एक दोनों नहीं अप्लाई कर रहे, इट्स ओनली वन पर्सन हु इज़ अप्लाइंग फॉर दिस, सो इससे क्या वो दूसरे पार्टनर को अटका सकता है?
यहाँ बात अटकाने की नहीं है. यहाँ पे बात होती है कि if one person is going for restitution, it means that despite of differences, the other person does not want to get separated from you. The other person is still positive and hopeful that the marriage will be fruitful in future. आज की तारीख में differences हो सकते हैं, but अगर restitution apply किया है, restitution में if the other side also agrees to it, or if the court passes an order in favor of the restitution petitioner, then there is another opportunity which is given to the couple to reconcile their differences and have a happy married life ahead.
सो ये रेस्टिट्यूशन का पीरियड क्या रहता है वंस यू फाइल?
See, period as in it's like 2 years period is generally given. If you are unable to reconcile in 2 years, then ultimately it is clear that the person does not want to
Continue.
save the marriage, and then it might go into an ugly fight or a mutual fight, and it might end up in divorce.
I've heard lot of people say कि एक औरत की लाइफ आफ्टर 40 और नथिंग व्हेन यू स्टार्ट विथ मेनोपॉज, और समझो कि यही दौरान कि अगर ये रेस्टिट्यूशन फाइल किया या इवन यू फाइल डिवोर्स, इफ दिस टेक्स अ वेरी लॉन्ग पीरियड and a girl's age is also increasing, so somewhere down the line it's a challenge for her. So is there anything the law helps her out in this?
We have to understand the law has been framed after a lot of thinking. The dynamics are changing. Earlier the marriage used to be around 18. Nowadays people don't think about marriage until 25.
So divorce cases में काफ़ी लोग डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस, डाउरी इश्यूज, ये सब के थ्रू भी गो थ्रू करते हैं, एंड देयर आर सेट ऑफ पीपल हु आल्सो मिसयूज दिस.
So misuse जो traditional dowry होता था, that has been replaced by a modern day dowry, I can say. What is modern day dowry if you ask me? So getting married to a working woman, expecting her to give all her salary at home is a modern day dowry. There have been instances, there are instances where the in-laws or the husband is expecting a woman to pay her entire salary to them on the day when it gets credited. So this is a kind of a modern day dowry. Again, this is not a general thing. It happens at times, it happens at places, not always. But by and large, we see that the traditional dowry system has gone to an extent, and the couples are smart enough to take a decision to get married or not if there is a dowry demand.
Yeah.
So you should take a decision wisely. If there is any kind of a demand, try to avoid that kind of a marriage proposal.
And what's your take on domestic violence?
Domestic violence, if you talk about that act, domestic violence act is predominantly only for a woman. तो वहाँ पे men के emotions और men के ऊपर जो violence होता है, that is not considered. Yes, there are instances where a woman is a subject of violent behavior of a husband or an in-laws, cruelty from husband or in-laws. But to an extent, there is also a misuse of the DV Act, of the Domestic Violence Act. There are misuses. There are cases where actually there is no violent behavior, but because the Act gives the liberty to file an application on the basis of domestic violence complaint and get an interim protection, get an interim relief in terms of maintenance, people are using.
So how can a guy safeguard himself if somebody has just put across a DV against him?
So for safeguarding is nothing, he has to produce his side of facts. A general tendency is to showcase the situation wherein he has been loving, caring towards his wife. अगर गाय प्रूव करता है कि उसने लड़की को जो उसकी वाइफ डिजर्व करती है, लव, केयर, अटेंशन उसने उसको दिया है, then there is by no means that a girl can prove there is a domestic violence been done upon her.
जब कपल्स को डिवोर्स लेना रहता है एंड इफ़ दे ऑलरेडी हैव अ किड, वो ज़्यादा चैलेंजिंग हो जाता है उन लोग के लिए, उनकी कस्टडी, देखभाल, ये सब देखने के लिए.
Definitely, with a kid, there comes another challenge. Challenge as in custody, access of the child. Because a child is important to both the parents.
Yeah.
A child needs father and mother both. A father and mother both need the child as well. तो it is better कि अगर दोनों के बीच में अंडरस्टैंडिंग हो और एटलीस्ट चाइल्ड को दोनों का लव मिले, दोनों माँ बाप का प्यार मिले, तो चाइल्ड के भविष्य के लिए भी अच्छा है और माँ बाप के लिए भी अच्छा है कि उनको उनके बेटे से वंचित ना होना पड़े, उनसे दूर ना होना पड़े बच्चों से. So that comes with an understanding which has to be taken holistically view over and above your concern with your partner. अपने पार्टनर के कंसर्न को अपने बच्चे के भविष्य के ऊपर हावी मत होने दो. Let the child get equal love from both his parents.
Yeah.
If that kind of understanding is there between the couple, then it can be less of a challenge.
Yeah, upbringing of a child can be done in a more better manner.
More better way.
Yeah.
A child's mind is very soft like a clay. So if he sees negativity too much, his mind will grow up with negative attitude.
Yeah.
So let the negativity of the parents' dispute in marriage does not come in the mindset of a child.
So do you want to even share some legal awareness to people? So,
Prenuptial agreement अभी तक start हुआ नहीं है इंडिया में. We
but
don't know
it's
about the future, whether it will start or it will not start. But a prenuptial agreement to a certain extent can be helpful to the society in the matrimonial thing. Earlier it used to be a thought कि prenup agreement किया मतलब divorce की तैयारी पहले से कर रहे हो. It's not about preparation for divorce. It's about preparation for a better and safe, secured future. इंश्योरेंस लेते हैं इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि आप मरने की तैयारी कर रहे हो. उसी तरह प्रीनप में एग्रीमेंट में अगर जा रहे हो इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि आप डिवोर्स की तैयारी कर रहे हो.
But there are a certain category of people who would still feel na कि marriage is nothing like a contract sort of a thing. It's more of your emotions, attachment. But I know the world has changed, people have changed, thinking has changed.
सी मैरिज में भी एक्सपेक्टेशंस होती है,
Correct.
मैरिज में भी इमोशंस होते हैं और मैरिज में भी कंसिडरेशन होता है. कंसिडरेशन नॉट इन टर्म्स ऑफ मनी बट कंसिडरेशन ऑफ शेयरिंग लव विथ ईच अदर.
Yeah.
So similarly, a prenup is not a gender biased document. It can be a gender neutral document which can help both the couple in future. So having a proper prenup, if it is allowed in future in India, can be a good support system to the couple.
So still, is there any other agreement in marriage that people do nowadays?
No, there is no agreement except for the marriage or the Sat Fera, the 7 promises which the couple takes for each other.
Like some precaution a couple can take before getting into marriage.
Have a better understanding of the expectations of your partner before getting married. Take few days, few months, maybe a year to understand the partner and his or her expectations. Once you feel that you both are compatible for each other, then you go for a marriage and have a healthy communication with each other. Try to discuss openly about your expectations with your partner, and this might lead to a happy married life.
So even if say you have miscommunication, then probably it turns out to have less trust issues, which creates more problem. So again, to regain those trust issues in any relationship, it creates problem.
ट्रस्ट, विश्वास, भरोसा बनाने के लिए सालों लग जाते, पर टूटने के लिए एक
Yeah.
सिंगल मिस्टेक ही काफ़ी है. सो दैट गोज विद ईच एंड एवरी रिलेशनशिप. बट येस, डेफिनेटली कॉम्प्रोमाइज, एडजस्टमेंट इज अ पार्ट ऑफ अ रिलेशनशिप. यू नीड टू कॉम्प्रोमाइज, यू नीड टू एडजस्ट, understand the importance of sacrifice in a married life. And then I think there won't be a dispute in between the couple.
In marriage, a person also needs emotional intelligence. Do you feel that?
Emotions to part of your life, it comes naturally. You don't need to have it artificially created. So EI is natural, AI is artificial. Marriage is always EI, not AI.
So, do you suggest people like one should go for premarital counseling? As per
Yeah,
today's
if-
generation, will that help them to, have a healthy relation in future?
See, it depends on person to person. If you know what you want, good. You can directly talk to your partner. If you don't know what you want, then maybe a counselor can help you in understanding what is your expectation. Sometimes people don't realize what is their expectation. So talking to an experienced guy or a girl or a person who is from a professional background of counseling can help you gather your expectations and put it in front of your partner or your would-be partner, I can say.
So when a person is actually going through divorce, it's very difficult for one to deal with that phase of life. I'm sure you have friends, family, and everyone who supports you. But is there another way, like probably one can help themselves during this phase?
Yes, during this phase, even during the period of coming out of the post divorce trauma, what one can consider is pursuing his or her hobbies or interest. Try to find time for yourself. Look within yourself. Pursue your passion.
क्या इंडिया में अभी भी एक टैबू है कि आप डिवोर्स्ड हो सो आपको शर्मिंदा फील होता है किसी को बताने में?
आई थिंक विथ टाइम दिस हैज़ चेंज्ड और शर्मिंदा होने का कोई रीज़न भी नहीं है. डिवोर्स के बहुत रीजंस होते हैं एंड if you are divorced it doesn't mean that there is some problem in you. Okay, so you don't need to be ashamed of it or feel bad about it. ऐसा भी नहीं है कि डिवोर्स खाली आप ही के घर में हुआ है. आज की तारीख में देखा जाए तो इंडिया का डिवोर्स रेट काफ़ी ड्रास्टिकली इंक्रीज हो गया है, विच इज़ नॉट अ गुड साइन, बट द गैप बिटवीन वेस्टर्न डिवोर्स एंड इंडियन डिवोर्स हैज़ नैरोड डाउन ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम. So you don't need to be ashamed of it. In fact, you get an opportunity to express yourself, and if you are separated, it doesn't mean it's an end of your life. You get a new beginning after this. You find a new partner, and you are in fact better aware of what can be an expectation in terms of your partner.
So
in
now
second
if
marriage.
somebody is again thinking for a second marriage, so what awareness should one have before getting into obviously not your past mistakes, don't drag them, but yeah.
देखो ऐसा है ना कि एग्ज़ाम में अगर कोई फेल हो गया इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि मतलब उसने प्रिपरेशन पूरी नहीं की थी. बट अगर कोई सेकंड टाइम एग्ज़ाम दे रहा है उसमें वो पास हो जाता है तो ही हैज़ क्लियर्ड हिज पेपर. सो सेम वे रिलेशनशिप है. फर्स्ट टाइम में यू माइट फेल इन योर रिलेशनशिप बट सेकंड टाइम में यू माइट क्लियर इट. बट यू लर्न फ्रॉम योर मिस्टेक्स. You try to overcome your lacking qualities or something which you have missed, interactions which you might have missed in your first marriage. You can be much more clear in your second marriage.
Do you see people being successful in second marriage?
Yes, I have seen many second marriages are sustaining and they are sustaining for long. In fact, I have seen people who are saying that they are happy in their second marriage. So I think that's not a taboo anymore, that if your first marriage is not successful you cannot go for second marriage. In fact, second marriage has been successful for many of them, and they have a better and clear understanding of their married life.
So if any couple are applying for divorce with a mutual consent, so do they really have to wait for 6 months?
Yes, for mutual consent divorce, 6 months is the waiting period suggested by the law. But we have seen in cases or case to case basis, there is a waiver of the 6-month period.
Okay.
And I would say कि लॉ बना है तो कुछ सोच समझ के ही बना है. 6 महीने का पीरियड इसलिए दिया जाता है कि कभी कभी कोई हेस्ट में डिसीजन ले लेता है. आई हैव सीन कपल कमिंग टू मी, कॉलिंग मी एंड इमीडिएटली कमिंग मी आफ्टर द फाइट एट होम कि हम लोग का अभी झगड़ा हुआ है, हमको आज का आज डिवोर्स लेना है, पेपर बनाओ, साइन कराओ और हमको डिवोर्स दे दो आज के आज ही. बट इफ़ आई वुड हैव दैट लिबर्टी टू गिव अ डिवोर्स और गेट देम डिवोर्स्ड विद इन अ वीक और विद इन अ डे, then many homes would have broken by now.
Correct.
Giving 6 months period help them to rethink and repair their relationship. Okay. And there are marriages which have been continued after 6 months period of applying for mutual consent divorce. But again, in certain cases where we know that waiting for 6-month period will not help, when they are already separated for long time or they are staying in a separate geography altogether, then in those situations even the court is considerable nowadays to waive off the 6 months period.
Okay.
So it depends on case to case, but yeah, a 6 month can change your life. So I think
Maybe it's a realization period
it's
for
a
any couple.
realization period, rethinking period, to
Visit your old
revisit
memories.
your old memories and revisit your decision.
Yeah.
and maybe go back and stay together.
Yeah.
So I would like to give an example over here. 2 years back, on the date of Diwali, in the evening at the time of Lakshmi Pujan, I got a call from an unknown number.
Okay.
And they wished me happy Diwali. I did not have the number, so I asked, who are you? So he said, we had come 2 years back at your office and you advised us, you gave us some tips or certain advices, I can say, to stay together and not get separated. They had come to me for mutual consent divorce. I advised them, they went back, and after 2 years they called me saying that we are now a happy family with a child and we are happy to stay together. So that was the best Diwali gift ever I have received.
So you see in a lot of matrimonial sites, there is an option called as awaiting divorce.
Awaiting divorce.
Yeah.
Acha.
So is it okay for any person to apply when the person is already in the procedure of getting divorce?
Okay, I mean that's a
But
person
he's
to person
still in the
quality.
urge of getting divorced, but might be or might not be. So how can he start considering for another marriage altogether?
Absolutely right. He cannot consider, I mean, considering is his wish, but he cannot get married to another person if he is already married.
Okay.
Till the time the court grants divorce, till the time the appeal period is not over, a person cannot remarry.
Okay.
Considering or not considering remarriage is his prerogative, which no one can stop or change.
Yeah.
And with the growth of this matrimonial site, they have started keeping new tabs, which even I got to know.
You have seen so many cases throughout. So what advice would you like to give the coming generation or the couples?
So yes, my advice not only to the coming generation but also to the parents of the coming generation, that is us, is like treat your daughter-in-law like your daughter. And for couples, be transparent, speak up with your partner. Compromise and adjustments are two important words, which are not only words but also necessary in your day-to-day life. You have to compromise on certain things. You have to adjust with your partners. We have been doing this since times we do it in our office also, we do it in our workplace also. But the more you try to converse with your partner, the more you speak up with your partner, you try to explain your expectation and the partner also reciprocate, then the marriage can be heaven and there won't be a divorce in that particular situation.
Thank you so much, Dharmendra, for coming and sharing your experience.
Welcome.
This was really a fruitful conversation.
Thank you, Divya, for calling me over here and giving me an opportunity to speak about the day-to-day matrimonial issues which we see in the society. I hope that if people listen to me and if they follow some of the advices, then maybe the divorce ratios, if it comes down, I would be more happy and I would be the happiest person, I can say, if this
Thank you.
happens.
आज का डिस्कशन काफ़ी आई ओपनिंग रहा. रिलेशनशिप्स और शादी के नए पर्सपेक्टिव्स समझने का अच्छा मौका मिला. आप भी अपने रिश्तों में थोड़ा सोच विचार लाइए और जब ज़रूरत हो तो मदद लेने में हिचकिचाइए मत. डोंट फॉरगेट टू लाइक, शेयर एंड सब्सक्राइब टू आवर चैनल. कनेक्टेड रहिए एम्पीरिया कनेक्ट्स के साथ.